Okay, let's pause what we're doing. I really like what I see. I hear some good energy. I hear some good kata-ing going on in pairs. So on the Google community, I shared a link for Google Hangouts. Those of you who would like to share what you've done with the rest of the class, please join the Hangout, and you can use that to share your screen and speak to what you're doing there. So please go and find that. So the person who's doesn't have their hands on the keyboard. No, you can keep going. The other person. What were some of your experiences? What was it like pairing on this kata?
That was good. It's good for catching some of just the really dumb bugs that normally you compile and you'd be like, oh shit, that was like a super dumb bug. Having two eyes on it kind of nullifies any of that.
Great, yeah. So going a little faster and find like the obvious stuff. Yeah, obvious. Any non-obvious stuff people found with the partner? Yeah. Yeah, get into design quicker. Tell us about your design. How did you design it? Oh. Cool. There you go. Awesome. How does that compare with some of your other designs? Compare and contrast. You guys, so how is your design different?
But what we thought was start off with layer 1 and then we just layer 2 start off with rather than randomly and then assigning the points to the layers by randomly picking whether we and randomly 4 or 4 so layer 1 says you can play
right.
And randomly generated 4 or 4 so you get 2
Cool. Okay. Good deal. Yeah.
We didn't really have a design. We kind of started with incremental tests of like, oh hey, we need 2 scores that are going to be 0, so let's just throw 2 ints that are 0 and start from there. And so I was thinking about it, like, yeah, if we get on long enough, we might reach a point where it's like, oh, we need to reorganize how this stuff looks, but we just started from the smallest numbers without.
Did you get to that point where you had to reorganize?
No,
okay, haven't gotten to it yet. Okay, well that's an interesting lesson, isn't it? Right? Where and this is one of those things I find about like test-driven development is that if you're disciplined enough to just sort of keep it simple, sometimes it just ends up being simple because you think, oh, I'm going to do other stuff, and it's like, well, wait a second, if I can't test it, do I need to write it? So no, I don't. It just ends up being more simple. Cool. Anybody on the Google Hangout yet? I don't see anybody. No? What? Oh, so it's the yeah. Yeah, I don't need like the big image of me looking down on you. Super freaky. Ah! Chin. Anyway. So yeah, so I want to see some of your code. Let's find the link there. Oh, cool. Audio.
How do I share my screen? Oh, this is awkward. How do I share my screen? Oh, there it is.
You share it. Dope. Nice. Me, looking at me.
That's how I feel. Yeah, so we were just getting to kind of like the increment point and deciding the Deus game.
Get a little bigger. There's actually like a presentation. How you did it? You, let's see if I can find. Say view, and there's like the bottom. It's full screen, and then you have presentation mode. It makes everything even bigger. Oh, it's really awful looking, but
there we go.
Look it up. You exit presentation mode. That's huge. What did I just do?
No idea.
There you go. It's more readable. It's really hard to see on the screen. Okay.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Well, so everybody get on the.
Yeah,
Everybody get on the hangout and say the.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Oh, that's what
Okay, let me try this again. Okay. So yeah, we were kind of getting to do this Deus game. So we've created 2 players, and we're going to increment their score. And if player 1 and player 2's score is equivalent to 40, then we're going to go into this kind of like Deus loop, right? So we've tested that we can increment a point, and that's going to equal to 15. So we've asserted that. And yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. I wish I could get out of this presentation mode. Sorry. So that I could switch classes, because this is a different class that we have here. We have the tennis game test. We also have the player class, which we're writing.
Right, not the player. I like holding down his hand, clicking on the word player.
Oh.
Looks like going to presentation mode. It was in the community. The same post that has the link to the repository. I posted a comment.
There we go. Cool. So yeah, we were just kind of working on the logic on this right now as far as the increment point when we're at Deus. So when both scores are at 40. And so we can, if both players are I haven't quite worked this out yet, but if both players are at 40 and someone scores, then if one player scores, then you're going to have this advantage bit, if you will, and then flip that based on who scores. And then if I haven't quite worked out, the next step in that, but so if that same player with the advantage bit is true, then they win the game, right? So yeah, but still getting there, and it's like when you start to think about these problems, you get in deep, So yeah, I understand writing stupid cases first.
Again, they're gonna get an advantage.
That's becoming more clear.
It's gonna be the same thing again.
Cool.
So they have to.
Okay. People.
Ben.
So everybody mutes themselves except for Andy. It's like most people have. So thank you. Cool. So comments. Pretty much see. What do you guys see? Using the array is interesting. Did anybody else realize this is a state machine that you're implementing? Right, the score. It's like, remember that all that fun, all that nonsense. State machine. Oh my god, but yeah, it's like basically you got this player object and it scores in different states. Nice. Okay, cool. Anything else for Indian? Golf clap. This clap. Okay, awesome. Let's go next. Thanks. Go next.
I'll mute myself.
You can also drop out. Well, you can see it better. So you can turn off your camera too.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Cool. So share screen.
All right. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. All right. We didn't get too far because we were thinking about using enums, and then we decided not to.
Okay.
It's much harder than it looks.
So, yeah, basically we go to the test. So we wanted to test that their initial score started at 0. We just asserted both of those things, which made us have a default value in our tennis game class, and the fact that they had a score. So rather than using an enum, we decided to use an int array to keep track of the different scores. And now the player 1 score and player 2 score represent an index into that array.
Oh, so you're really the first.
0 is 0, and then 1 would be 15.
So if you go back to the
Oh, right.
tennis game, if you
You don't have to score with it.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
scores integer array. So since tennis has a unique 0, 15, 30, 40, so we just limited it to those. And then when you add the score, you just increase the index of the player.
So maybe a better name would be player 1 index, possibly.
Okay, yeah. It's an index. Say so, yeah. Because I was thinking it first. Yeah. Oh, game. Undo that.
Okay.
Refactor.
Okay, and then use the factor
Rename up top.
All right.
Just type it in.
Oh, so much better. Okay.
All right, yeah, and then we made this static int thing was a refactor so that we could call player 1 and it was obvious rather than just saying 1 because that wasn't very descriptive.
So you said you were thinking about the news. Tell me more. So like, how did you get there and how did you decide to back away?
So I think we're both from the C++ background, and enums in that are integers, and you can constrain them to integers.
Mm-hmm.
In Java, they aren't. They're actually a separate class that requires specific input and specific things, and that made it a lot harder to do in terms of just doing this simply within third minutes.
Yeah, we figured we wouldn't make much progress if we focused all of our time on that. So,
That's a lesson, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, you kind of are on your own little design criteria. And and so knowing that sort of, when you say, hey, I'm going to experiment with a new language feature that I'm familiar with versus like, I want to get it done. That's a
Right.
good, like, sort of, save that for refactor phase, right? So like, get it working, get your tests working, get your sort of, your inputs to where you're happy with them, and then go ahead and do stuff. Make sure to get your code beforehand so you've got it under control in case you need to revert everything. All that. Nice. Awesome. Anything else for Elijah? Oh, actually, I have one more thing. Go back to your tests again. So, what's the next test that you're going to write? That you want to write?
Check that the score returns 15.
oh,
Because-
that's written. I think it runs.
No, well, we add the score, but we don't ever check the score. It's actually 15 now.
Oh, actually, we were calling get score, which is probably wrong.
Yeah.
So we're testing 2 functions in that unit test, but
Oh, how so?
well, we do add score and get score.
Well, got it.
Right? That's the part of the setup, right? So you're not so much testing that as you are that becomes part of the given when then, right? So the when is still get score, but the given requires you to call add score. Nothing wrong with that, right? You're creating your state. You're configuring. You're setting up your test. Yeah, nice. Oh, okay, cool. I guess one more thing on these tests. Were you doing red, green, refactor? Did you ever give them to red? You ever see them fail? You did.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first text we did.
Uh-huh.
The second text was red.
Nice. Okay. Because one of the things I noticed is that you're using the assert keyword and not the assert that method from Hamcrest. So I wasn't sure how it was going to work for you. So I mean, technically, strictly speaking, actually no. I would recommend that you use like the Hamcrest API saying assert that, but you're doing good here, and so keep going on this. Nice. Okay. Thanks, guys. Clap. Okay. Next, Cole. Unmute yourself and let's see it. If Elijah, you go back on mute, please. I'd appreciate it. Okay, it'll be picked up on mine then. Hopefully that'll be. It's in the top right, in the little the three. Of course, the 3 dots in a vertical line, which means click here. I don't know. Yeah, it's like. Yeah, I'll click on that. Yeah, so go over to IntelliJ. That's pretty cosmic. Hey, someone with the light screen. Yeah, sorry. Pet peeve, pet peeve. It's just the way my eyes that see it better. Cool. Is that readable enough? You can go into presentation mode and see if that helps. View, yeah. Way down at the bottom, third from the bottom. Yep. Cool. It's huge. Yes.
Okay. These score the strings. We thought about it, but I didn't think about
Yeah, what do you guys think about storing score as a string? Pluses, minuses?
We just wanted
Ambivalent?
to accommodate the dues and stuff.
Oh, right.
We-
So
we
the
didn't
score
do
is.
that.
That's a good point. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Nice. Okay. Oh, do you Control N and then type in the name of the class? So tennis game test. Yeah. There it is.
So our first test was just making sure we initialize.
Yep.
The second test was initializing the score. So the third test was just initializing the score, the name of the score for the second time. So then the score test. It's red because I changed the name of it. It started with this and then
Yeah, go ahead.
so initialize it. It's just letters basically. And so we started with this and I with the increase score.
Mm.
We had this if statement in here. For like part 1, part 1, part 2. And we decided that we could strategies. We ended up here inside that.
Oh, interesting. Cool. Yeah.
We were working on that and then we had a problem.
Uh-huh.
Figure out this is still basically the same thing.
Hmm.
We were in the process of figuring this out.
Oh, right. 'Cause, yeah, you need to know which player. Okay. Okay. Cool. Neat. Okay. So like, what's the what's something that surprised you about what you did in the last half hour?
Well, I would have, yeah, like I would have started trying to work with the humans, chapter 3,
Yeah.
that sort of. So I would have wasted a lot of time probably trying to figure that out. It's about to start.
Great. Cool.
At least with this as an in-class exercise, speeds at, or times at way more than premium.
Yeah.
We're looking at, so.
Well, and that's kind of interesting, yeah, because this is one of the things that I sort of struggle with this exercise is that, we'll take a half an hour, maybe a little bit longer, but gosh, it's probably getting late now. And, this is not how we program normally. That being said, it's important to be able to sort of take a small problem and run with it. And so then, yeah, thanks for sharing that experience. Cool. Let's see here. We got a couple more. I can't pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Who is this? Sorry, what? Oh, okay. You're with the line. Okay. Anybody else want to go? Ben? Was that you? No. Okay. Who left? Okay. Oh, you guys go? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Get on there. Cool. Let's probably turn off our camera. Yeah.
Serve that for the packages. It is
Mhm.
the org and quest. Just ask for everything.
Let IntelliJ be your guide. I can never remember the name of the class, so it's like core matchers or something like that. So type assert that, and then if you do, I think it's Windows button enter. Well, on yours. Well, anyway, if you do like autocorrect, it will it'll say static import static method. Say yes, and then choose the org ham quest one.
And I've noticed that most of the serve that strings it does work with.
Yep. Yeah, you can use whatever you want. Yeah, it's really the value. And then you say equal to, and then there's a bunch of equal tos, and you can have equal to for an int, for a boolean, whatever. Okay.
Where is the score button?
In the top right, under the three little dots.
I have a full screen, but I don't have
Here we go. Which window it is. Is that up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So ours, we kind of just dove into it.
yeah.
It ended up being very procedural, unless object oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just have our general plan was just do a while loop, take input for user who wins each point, and then we just store each player's score as a single integer, increase every time someone gets a point, and then pretty much our three conditions are a win in the deuce kind of mode, and then just a standard win, and then otherwise we just display the score, and we just keep on going through those three conditions over and over. Yeah, it works pretty well, but there's one little bug if like it just randomly hangs if we get like a 4-3 score. So like yeah, I don't know why exactly.
Yeah.
Do you have unit tests to go along with this?
Not
Nope.
yet.
Oh, not yet. Yeah, I like the spirit.
Yeah.
How would you approach that?
Well, I think we did the kind of classic. Oh, we'll just do a little more, then we'll start doing unit tests, and then it just steamrolls. Then you go, I might as well just turn it in, right? It's doing 10 minutes.
Still works like this break.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I would focus on doing unit tests, like try to do it per condition, like checking wins in a Deus territory, just in a normal one, and then yeah.
Cool. Okay. Good deal. How many lines of code is this? You've been doing a lot. That's there's a lot there.
Yeah.
Cool. Use the scanner.
Yeah, use the scanner to get through it.
Right on. Okay. Nice. Any questions for these guys? No? Okay. How are we doing on time here? Great. 9 o'clock already. Goodness. Anybody else want to talk about this stuff? We got one more thing to talk about, a little preview for next week. For those of you who are still there. Great. Thanks. I'm going to exit the hangout. Okay. Today we did some code katas. It was pairs on our own. I want to experiment with something next week. We're going to do a different kata next week. Next week's kata will be converting numbers to words. In this style of pair programming, it was a bunch of individuals. I want to try something different called a coding dojo. So in a coding dojo, it's kind of a combination of both things we did tonight. So having people up sort of at the front of the class and everybody else combined with pair programming. So we're going to watch another video. Oh, I guess I need to get the audio going. Does it reach? Oh, it reaches. Excellent. And I need to unmute myself. Cool. Okay. So a coding dojo.
So what is a coding dojo? Well, first off, the most important part is really the setting. So if you imagine the setting to, of course, have a single computer, it's attached to some kind of projector, and of course that projector is projecting up on the wall here. And then the other important part is to have a secondary space, usually a whiteboard or a flip chart, where the problem and ideas can be written up there. Along those lines, of course, you've got two pair programmers or spars who are working together, a pilot and a co-pilot, and then you have the dojo participants who are sitting around, usually no more than, I'd say, 12 to 15 people. Okay, so that's the setting. Now let's go on to the people, the roles, and it's important to note that all of these roles have to actually have someone in place at all times and acting as responsible for the job of that role. So, role number one is the sensei. As you can see here, there's no sensei listed, and that's because usually the sensei is somewhere off in the distance in the background, watching and guiding the dojo, not giving instructions or solutions, but rather pathways to the solution. Remember, there is no spoon. Okay, number two, pair programmers. These two people are the spars. One of them is the pilot, so one of them is typing, and it's their job to write down the syntax and start to throw out ideas in a way to be on the offensive, to be the attacker, and to get the ideas up on the board so that the rest of the people can overlook at it and provide other solutions. The other person, the co-pilot, the fellow pair programmer or spar, their job is to look over the other code that's being written by the first spar and to kind of be on the defensive, to try to help and suggest ideas and to kind of quietly whisper in the ear and help the first person. It's very much the idea that these two people are working together. They're not fighting. They're training one another to be able to do the best job in the same way that a kata would be performed in karate. Finally, other than your two pair programmers in the middle, are kind of the advisors. Now, it's really important to notice that all of these people that are around the room, they're all participating at the same time. Oftentimes they'll hop up and they'll write on the problem board themselves. They'll shout out answers if they see something done differently by the primary pilot programmer. And then the other important thing to notice here is that everyone has to take an opportunity, a chance to be a pilot and a co-pilot. So you'll very much have people switch out and to take their opportunities. Usually about 15 to 20 minutes, someone will sit in the pilot and co-pilot seat and then switch out. So usually you'll take your first go as the pilot because you'll need to learn how to type the syntax. And then once you're kind of getting the idea of how to type the syntax of the code, you'll have the second co-pilot who can then swap over and help advise the new person coming in. So everyone in the entire programming dojo must participate. Which brings us to the rules, actually. So let's go on to the rules of the coding. So now let's go to the rules of the dojo. So one of the most important parts is, number one, the sensei asks questions, does not give answers. And so the real point about the sensei, who's obviously kind of somewhere in the background to this activity, is just providing guidance. There is no spoon. They're just teaching you how to move forward. Often the problem that they give or the challenge they give is given beforehand, usually a week in advance by email, so people have time to think about it. All right, rule number 2. All must participate in code being written. And what it means by that is that all of these participants around the edge who need to take their turn in the middle at some point, all of these people need to be watching the primary coding board. So what's going on with the two sparring partners and what they're writing. They need to be looking up here and participating, and ideally helping contribute by suggesting solutions. They should not have their own computers out. Not really. They should be, unless they're trying to look up stuff or something else. I mean, there's no strict rules, but ideally they're not coding by themselves. They're trying to team code and help this person learn as much as the rest of them will have help themselves when they code. Finally, rule number 3, everyone must participate in sparring, which means that everyone must take their turn as pilot and co-pilot in both typing and also helping teach how to type. So this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, so forth and so on. Every single person should switch out at some point, come and take their turn to type, and then swap out and take their turn on helping to advise and all the rest of it and give solutions. So that, in essence, is the Coding Dojo. Cheers.
Okay. Shaky camera work. I've used that Coding Dojo video for a long time. I've never actually had taken the opportunity to do a Coding Dojo, so I want to experiment with it. And so then I'll send out some more information during the week. But anyway, that's we'll try that next week. Just wanted to give you a little heads up. I guess also, and one last thing, while you guys were working on the kata, I too was working on the kata. Nope. And so I've got a solution here. I'm going to push this up to GitHub on the repository that you all cloned. So you can't don't do a pull because there'll be like massive conflicts. But David attempts to implement the kata. And so, if you're curious to see how I approached it, I got pretty far, I think. My implementation is a little different than yours, which is what to be expected. But what we're going to do next week is all work on the same repository. And so then I posted something to GitHub to ask you guys to, those of you with GitHub accounts, if you'd like to share them with me, share what your account is. I will add you to the organization, and we can all contribute to the same repository and share our code as we all work together in the dojo to work on that next kata, which is all about converting numbers to words. Awesome. Okay. Thanks again for, I really enjoyed tonight. It's much easier for me sitting down, I noticed. So anyway, don't get as tired. I'm an old man. Okay, great. Anything before we go? No? Okay, thank you all very much. Have a great week. I'll see you next time.
Joseph,